Hey, everyone on social media. It's Jerry coming to you from the greatest place in the world, the Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. What is Rythmia? It's the most amazing healing center in the world. How can I say that? Over 18,000 people have been through the doors, and 98.17% say they had a life-changing miracle during their stay. So just imagine that. 981 out of every 1,000 people, and there's been over 18,000, we're going to get to 20,000 people this year, have said they had a life-changing miracle during their stay. Crazy, right? Because of this, people from all over the world come here every single week. To experience the magic of this place. And it is magical. Now, so many people have come through that we've been open almost 10 years. That 6 months after people check out, they get a survey. 90.22% of the people who walk through the door say that this was the week that changed their whole life. Amazing stuff, right? And because of that, we get A-listers from all walks of the entertainment business, from sports, from TV, from movies, from music, and then all kinds of business people. This week, one person had rented out the whole place for her birthday. There are about 70 guests for this amazing person's birthday. Her name is Tony Ko. She's a fellow shareholder with me here. What has she done? She was a Korean immigrant who started a company called Mix Cosmetics. A lot of women will know what that brand is, that she sold to Revlon for $500 million. Amazing person. They're just the most amazing people that are here this week as a result of her birthday. Now, because all these people come from all different walks of life, there's like all different kinds of people, business people, athletes, actors, actresses, musicians, and normal people just like you and me come to this place and have this amazing experience. Because so many people have come, we have an amazing board of directors. Now, each one of these people has been here multiple times, has gone through this system and decided to join the Rythmia board of directors for free. Who are they? Kelly Slater, the world's greatest surfer. Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, the founder of the Agape Spiritual Center. Martin Luther King's son, Martin, who's a civil rights leader in his own right. Ron White, one of the best comedians in the history of the world. Yolanda Van Zant from the Oprah Winfrey Channel. Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup series, Chicken Soup with the Soul, etc., etc. Frank Biden, Joe Biden's brother. Mark Kielberger, social entrepreneur, New York Times bestseller, and biohacker. Earl Kosky, an American businessman. Brandy Sabella, author and TV show producer. Kim Terranova, Agape, a spiritual leader and author in her own right. And Dr. Jeff McNary, former director of the Passages Malibu Rehabilitation Center. Why are all these people lending their name to this thing? Because it works. And it works like nothing else any of us have ever seen. Crazy. And we're glad that you joined us today. We're going to tell you a little bit about the process. So most people come here looking for something. They think that something's not perfectly lining up with their life, and they want to do something about it. So who do we get who are clients like that? Well, business people who had a capital event. So you've lived 40 years, you sold your company for 100 million, and it didn't feel like you thought it would feel, and you need to come to some place to get a way of going through the rest of your life. People who are in their 60s and 70s who decided to retire, but realize that they're going to live another 30 years and want to realign with their life. Young people who have not yet found a direction for their life. Actors and actresses who've become famous and experienced a great amount of fame, and it didn't meet with their expectations of what it would make, they thought what it would make them feel like. All these people come to have this one thing happen. What is this thing? It's called a soul merger or a soul reclamation. And in this process of 1 week, it's a really hard week because it is about 16 hours of classroom time. It's 4 ayahuasca ceremonies. It's 2 breathwork ceremonies, meditation, 6 yogas. Like there's all this thing, a cleanse, colonic cleanse, farm to table organic food, individual counseling, all into this one wild week that results in you leave out of here and your soul is merged. Now, not all people, 98.17%. So 981 out of 1,000, 98 out of 100. That's how many people get it. Yes. So what happens to these people once they leave? They decide to become, the overwhelming vast majority, decide to become a beneficial presence on the planet. And what does that mean? They have seen God and God has spoken to them. And they realize that the gift of living in this garden of a planet is a true gift. And instead of deciding what this planet can give them, they make a decision with their mind, body, and soul to give back to the planet. And in this decision, they decide to become what's known as a beneficial presence. That was coined by my friend and fellow board member and shareholder, Michael Beckwith. But it means that I'm going to leave a positive footprint on this earth. How can I do it? Well, there's a million ways. You can do it as a plumber. You can do it as an electrician. You can do it as a movie star. You can do it as an investment banker. You can do it as a mom, dad, sister, or brother. You can do it as a grandfather or a grandson, a grandmother or granddaughter, a niece or a nephew. There's a million ways to do it. But once you decide to do it, you have formulated a plan to become a beneficial presence. Now, once you formulate that plan, and depending on how big and how bright you want to cast your light, you will be met with the opposite. So if you're bringing great light, you'll be met with great darkness. If you're bringing a smaller amount of light, you'll be met with a smaller amount of darkness. It's just the way that it goes. And guess what? There's no escape and there's no way around it. It's part of the process. But once you come to grips with that and you realize that it's no longer about me, it's about what I can do, that this lodestar has become my way of becoming a beneficial presence on the planet, and that this in turn becomes my ceremony. The rest of my life is my ceremony. Once you have this system in sight and you commit it to paper, right? Because in order to do this, you have to agree to go from stem to stern, from rooter to tutor, from the beginning to the end. You have to agree to stay with this in spite of all the darkness, in spite of all the normal problems, If you're opening up a business, you're going to have money problems, capital raising problems, employee problems, government problems, legislature problems. It's just the way that it goes. It's part of the process. But what keeps you in it is, instead of picking it from what I'm going to call the wrong side of the menu. What is the wrong side of the menu? The wrong side of the menu is, I'm going to do this to impress that boy. I'm going to do this to impress my mom. I'm going to do this to impress the neighbors. I'm going to do this to prove my dad wrong. Those are all the wrong reasons. But when you do it from the right side of the menu, I'm doing this to make the world a better place, and my presence, my footprint was a beneficial presence. That's why I'm doing it. Then you make these agreements with yourself that are outlined in this book of mine. But you make these agreements with yourself that, and when you make them with yourself and your soul, that number one, this is how I'm going to become a beneficial presence. I'm going to create a series of restaurants that serve clean, spiritual-based food, whatever that is. I'm going to agree to do this. And then I'm going to agree to never quit until the end. No matter what I feel like doing. Now, a lot of times in the spiritual community, people say, well, I have to honor my body. My body's telling me to rest. My body's telling me to quit. I have to tell you what. If you completely honor your body, you're going to be 350 pounds, sitting on a couch or laying in bed, eating bonbons and watching telenovelas. That's not honoring your body. What you need to do this work is grit. It's different. It's that you're going to sit down there and you're going to say, whatever your name is, I make this deal on this day with my body, mind, spirit, and soul in front of God, that I'm going to do this. And in my doing this, I'm going to adhere to these principles, which are, I'm going to have a daily practice, whether that's yoga, meditation, breath work, spiritual mind treatments, prayer, whatever that is. I'm going to do something for my body. I'm going to walk or jog or do calisthenics or weightlift, whatever that is for a spiritual time. I'm going to serve my body this. This kind of food, this kind of drink, this kind of media. This is what my deal is with myself. And then when that's all put into a thing, in addition to that, I'm going to agree to tithe X amount of percentage. I think the right amount is over 5 and under 8% of my delta, of the difference between what I'm making now and what I'm going to make in the future. So let's just talk about that for a second. So let's say with an average earner, I don't know what the average is in the United States, but let's say 200,000 a year. So a guy's making 200 grand a year. And he has this new thing where he's going to become a beneficial presence, and he believes that's going to yield him $1 million a year. What he does is he makes his agreement, his written agreement, to tithe 7% of the difference between 200,000 and $1 million and more. So you're not giving out of fear, lack, and limitation. You're giving out of success. You're giving out of abundance, right? And then you sign it. And then you don't break it. And what do I mean you don't break it? Well, surely sometimes you have to break it. Well, the one that you can break, in my opinion, is if you're deathly sick and you can't get out to work out in that day, you can break the movement. a little bit. But don't break the quitting. Don't break the food. Don't break the daily practice. Don't break the tithing. But you can have a little bit of wiggle room on that one thing. For me, there's 52 weeks in a year, and the times that I miss my physical routine are when I do stem cells, which I take about 2 weeks off to do that thing. But this is the kind of plan you have to have in order to do this. Now, what is the benefit? Well, I'm going to tell you the benefit. Number one, this is going to be harder than anything you've ever done, and it's going to take longer than you could ever imagine. I believe, and I don't quote me on this, but I think it took Tony almost 30 years with NYX Cosmetics, from when she got in that business to when she had her capital event. 30 years, a lifetime, right? But for most people, you got to figure 10 at the minimum, 10 years. That's the time frame. It's going to be harder than anything you've ever done. All of the naysayers are going to come out and say you can't do it. But you just keep pushing on because you have an agreement with yourself. So it's going to be harder than you ever done. Now, once you turn the curve, it's going to deliver more abundance than anything you could ever imagine, more fulfillment, more the energetic equivalent of abundance, which is money, more gratification, more true joy and happiness than anything you've ever done in your life. There's no amount of pillow sitting, couch sitting, bonbon eating, alcohol drinking, cigarette smoking, orgasm having that can take the place of this feeling. This is the feeling of contentment. And it comes from this activity. And that is the truth. Now, I can tell you this. If you don't have that plan, if you don't have a plan, if it's not committed to paper, if it's not done in the form of an agreement, you're going to become part of someone else's plan. That is just how it works. So I'm going to tell you, if your plan is to start your own church, to become a healer, to become a spiritual guide, to start a plumbing business that helps people, to start a series of restaurants or a restaurant, that the moment you write it down and you sign it with your heart and your soul, it becomes a thing. You now have a plan. Until you do that, you have nothing. And so just imagine a boat without a rudder. It's going to get blown around the ocean. It's going to go to wherever it goes. It's going to get stuck in a corner. It's not going to have a direction or a purpose. And without this, you got nothing. Now, what's important about this? The first step, you have to have a soul merger first. Why? Because I get a lot of people in Rythmia who are what I call hyper successful people. So me in my business life, I never became hyper successful. I made $100 million. But hyper successful people are 500 million, 5 billion, 10 billion, 15 billion, 20 billion. They're hyper successful. And I get a ton of them here, right? And what can happen is you can commit to this thing, to build this thing. And if you're really driven, if you get a gift of drive and the ability to withstand more than anybody else, you can stay the course and you can grab the gold ring. But if you do that from an unmerged place, that gold ring will be a huge letdown. Now, most people never get the ring because they needed to be merged in order to pick that from a place where they wouldn't quit. Most people are stuck in the cycle of life and death, of starts and deaths, of beginnings and ends, and they just keep starting something new and ending it, and starting something new and ending it, and starting. That's why you need this. And that's why Rythmia, its teachings, its community are what's important. Come here, have this thing happen, and have it change the rest of your life. God bless you. God keep you. God hold you. And we will see you next week.